What if your home could feel like a quiet winter morning, serene, soft, and deeply intentional, where every line feels calm and every corner whispers warmth? This is what happens when purity of form meets the gentle hush of the season. Soft winter light slips through tall windows, filling the living room with a quiet, almost hushed glow. The space feels calm and cleared of clutter, where every surface listens instead of shouts, inviting you to sink into wool-upholstered forms and let your shoulders drop. Underfoot, light oak warms the winter cold slightly, while the walls hold a muted gray that never feels lonely, just gently embracing. It's the kind of room where time slows, and you can almost hear the faint creak of the floor and the muffled sound of snow outside. Walking into the entrance hall feels like crossing a threshold into a slower, more deliberate life. The same light oak floor continues, grounding each step with a soft, natural warmth, while the muted gray walls wrap around you like a quiet hug. Tall openings frame glimpses of living and dining spaces beyond, turning the hall into a gentle pause before the day fully unfolds. Cool daylight filters in, gentle and unforced, making the brushed brass details and the single-potted evergreen feel like small, thoughtful gestures rather than decoration. The dining area gathers light like a calm conversation held in the middle of the day. You can almost feel the way the winter sun settles on the oak table, softening its edges and making the steel legs feel lighter than they are. The warm gray walls and continuous light oak floor make the room feel like part of a larger, connected story, not a separate destination. Sitting there, you'd notice the subtle way the light moves across the table over time, tracing the grain of the wood and lending the space a quiet, seasonal rhythm. The kitchen feels like a place where clarity and care meet, not frenzy and noise. Cool daylight spills over the countertop, illuminating subtle textures in the quartz and the quiet gleam of stainless steel. The matte white cabinetry lines the wall with a clean, almost meditative order, while the oak shelf adds a whisper of warmth among simple jars and woven textures. It's a space you'd want to linger in even when not cooking, where the light falls just right and the air feels still and gathered, like a breath held gently. The breakfast corner feels like a small, intimate secret tucked beside the kitchen. Low windows frame a delicate winter scene outside, letting in a soft, understated light that never feels harsh or demanding. The built-in bench hugs the wall, inviting you to sit with your back to the colder world and your face turned toward the gentle warmth of the oak table. Here, morning feels slower, more deliberate, with the light brushing over the wool fabric and the faint reflection of the snow-flecked courtyard making everything feel quietly, deeply comforting. The home office feels like a calm mind given form. Sunlight spills across the desk, highlighting the grain of the oak and softening the dark steel frame, so the space feels structured but never stiff. The warm gray walls and continuous light oak floor make the room feel like it belongs to the house, not an afterthought. You can imagine sitting there late in the morning, the light shifting slowly across the surface, your thoughts feeling orderly and unhurried, as if the room itself is quietly helping you stay focused and grounded. The reading room feels like a book open wide and turned into a place you can sit inside. Soft light pours in, balanced between the cool daylight from the window and the warm gray walls that never feel clinical. The shallow depth of the built-in shelves gives the space a sense of containment, like being in a small, sheltered cove. The low sofas cradle you, the wool inviting you to curl up, while the room hums with a quiet, steady calm that feels like the perfect antidote to a busy day. The sunroom feels like a pause between indoors and outdoors, where the cold is acknowledged but never allowed to dominate. Warm light washes in through the glass, catching the grain of the oak floor and the soft texture of the wool upholstery. The black steel window frames add a quiet structure, while the low seating makes you feel tucked in rather than exposed. It's the sort of space where you'd sit with a blanket draped over your legs, the light changing slowly, each moment feeling slightly more peaceful than the last. The indoor lounge feels like a quiet exhale at the end of the day. Soft light spills across the charcoal sofa, making the fabric appear deeply plush and inviting, while the warm gray walls wrap the room in a gentle embrace. The light oak table on blackened steel feels grounded, a stable anchor in the otherwise soft environment. Here, the air feels still and hushed, the space holding you without demanding anything, making it the perfect place to sink into, let your thoughts drift, and simply be for a while. Let this space remind you that design doesn't have to shout to be felt. Sometimes the most powerful rooms are the ones that hold silence, light, and a quiet sense of belonging.